first ever 820 fireside chat coming to you live. Or for you, I'm recording it, but right now it's live from Abiquiu, New Mexico. I've never done this, but I hope you can discern in the background noise. No, that's not static. That's an actually raging fire here in the beautiful outdoor fire pit in Abiquiu, New Mexico. So while I'm not giving you a video representation of this conversation today, at least you got an idea from the thumbnail for this episode of that picture. That's the actual fire that I'm speaking to you from right now. So besides that visual representation or description, the title for today's talk is No Rush. No rush. I got this wisdom from someone, a couple, yesterday. And my dear friend was with me. And she asked the couple about the secret to living till the age of 94, 95 years old. And the lady simply said, don't rush. Just two simple words. It wasn't a magical statement from on high or from the Bible or from something else. She said two words, the simplicity and the magic to living with vibrancy and vitality at over 90 is to never rush. Now, that might sound very simple and no problem, but that's not, revolutionary. It's not enlightening. But to me it was, and I'll tell you why. Because for me, one thing I do, and probably everything I do, from eating to driving to speaking, I'm always rushing. I'm always in a hurry to do something simple. But those two words just yesterday, don't rush. Or I'm trying to reword that to not use the word don't. I'm saying no rush. Almost like people say, hey, no worries. Not don't worry. Yeah, hey, no worries. Not meaning everything will be fine. I think that's a good way to start that conversation or to continue a conversation with no worries. But similar to me is no rush. And a classic example about rushing as a default habit, another bad habit, one of many that I have, I seek to break. I'm always rushing to do something. Like I said, those three examples: eating, talking, and driving. And also for me, if you've been with me for a while in the 820 episodes, I mentioned before about one of my underlying, Achilles heel, or my main trouble with my resilience is being impatient. So to me, I think the impatient side of me is equal or same topic or same name as rushing. So why rush? There's a saying, I think in engineering, or people who are professional tailors, actually who sew and make clothes. But I know definitely in the engineering realm, they would say you measure twice and you cut once, which really means do the preparation, do the research, make the measurements, do it properly the first time. Take your time. Don't rush it and do one kind of sort of estimate, and then you cut it and you find out that it was cut too deep, it's cut too short. It's not going to work that way. Then you have to scrap the entire garment and start over again. That's a good case. Bad case. Let's take the traffic example. Me always rushing when I'm driving, trying to get somewhere, trying to cut 2 minutes off of a 20-minute drive. Why not take the time? Why not adhere to the speed limit? Stay in the right lane. Let the other cars pass by you. Don't try and weave and bob and travel in the highway to get in front of that red car in front of you and get to the exit first. Because just today, I was in traffic, and thankfully today I choose to be more careful and patient in driving, and came across an accident. Not a terrible accident, but two cars to the right side of the highway, and clearly one car had run into the other car in front of them, and it just dawned on me, or reminded me of this topic today. Why rush? Obviously, the guy behind the one car that got hit, he was in a rush to get somewhere, won't make any judgment about maybe he was on his phone, or the person in front of him was on his phone, or whatever reason. The fact of the matter is they were off to the side of the road having a conversation about this accident because someone was in a rush. Thank goodness it wasn't me, but it just as easily could be me at any given time going forward, because I tend to default to hurrying, to be in a rush. So, tying this into the whole topic about resilience and doing your best, let's put a finer point on that. Doing your best at first. But make sure you're careful with the words you choose, with what you choose to do, before you just rush into something and then say, oh, I'll make it up on the next one. No. As I said earlier, measure twice and cut once. Do your research fully. Be clear on your desire, your discipline, and your drive. Your presence to do what you're about to do. Do as much as you can about on the front end before you make the decision. But once you've made all those steps that you were able to make, either research it online, your history, what you know, what you don't know, make that assessment. Then make the decision. Cut once. And do it once the first time. Instead of, like in the traffic example, now you have to recover from a mistake or a new lesson. It's going to cost you even more time to redo what you were doing because you rushed. I'm guilty of that as much as anybody else out there, probably more. But this topic today about your resilience. No rush to get to your resilience. Let it come out of you, as I asked you to do, to look inside about what you do well and use that as an indicator, a pointer to your resilience and to your calling that you can then share, because you measured twice and you cut it once. Thanks once again. Stay present, stay current, no matter where you are, especially in front of a roaring fire like I am right now in Albuquerque, New Mexico. No matter where you are, it's always 820.